Welcome to 40 Days of Self-Love with your girl J-me Scorpio AF Astrologer. This is a day late for day 9, all about Gemini risings and what you can expect during this Venus retrograding in Leo for you. I apologize for the delay. Yesterday I was practicing self-care, so it's not just about me making videos on self-care, but also practicing it in my own life as well. Now that I'm back and I'm refreshed, I'm ready to share with you, lovely Gemini risings, what you can expect. So this retrograde is going to be really interesting because in a different way, but similarly to Taurus and Libra risings, there's very much this retrograde is a lot about you guys, and this is because Mercury ruled Gemini is home to the 3rd house, and this is where Venus is retrograding right now. And so this is really to say that when you have Leo in your 3rd house of your mindset, your communication, how you speak, what you how you write, the things that you read and study, things of this nature, it's important to expose yourself to things that are creatively stimulating, that boost your confidence, that energizes you, that helps you to feel inspired. This is the mindset that really does help you to to really grow into yourself. Now, how easily you're able to do this or not depends on the natal placement of your sun sign. Whether this comes to you naturally or not, with Venus retrograding here and the sun also being here right now, this is the time to really reflect on those things. And some of the ways to support this is because Venus rules your 12th house of endings. You have Taurus here with Jupiter and Uranus. This can be a time where you can focus on what are some things that you can let go of that are no longer serving you. What are some things that you can heal from? So if, for example, you struggle with being stubborn, or you have challenges with your ego, or you sort of just have a hard time with expressing yourself or developing confidence in the way that you speak, and to really own that you're a queen, that you're a king, that you are royalty. If these are some insecurities that you have, this is the time to let that go through wisdom, through spirituality, through unconditional love, unconditional support. That's the energy of Jupiter in your 12th house. This is a way to boost your self-esteem. And with Uranus here as well, this is also a time where you can lean on spirituality, because Uranus rules your 9th house of spirituality. So think of ways that you can be in spiritual service to your local community, online, using astrology, connecting with friends that you have a deep and meaningful spiritual connection with. These are people that can help you to heal and let go so that you can really grow into yourself. And this is very much a theme of really expressing yourself in a way that serves and benefits you. And this is because Gemini, being Mercury ruled, is all about communicating, collaborating, connecting, making connections, expressing yourself, things of that nature. And Venus, in addition to the 12th house, it also rules your 5th house of self-expression. And you have Libra here. So this is the time to express yourself in a way that really helps you to feel inspired, positive. This can show up either in your own business, things that you enjoy, in relationships. This can show up differently depending on who you are, what specifically is going on in your chart. Now, because this is a generalized analysis that I'm making and I'm not looking at your personalized chart, I can't know for sure, so I'll cover as many possibilities as I can. But to get a personalized reading that's aligned for you, go to my website and book a reading to get your personalized reading. But for everyone else who's just trying to figure things out through this video, this is really to say that this is the time where you can reflect on what is the best way to express yourself that is energizing, that gives you confidence. What are some ways that you do express yourself, and how you interact in your own business, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a freelancer, or in your romantic partnerships that aren't serving you? What can you let go of? And this is something that's going to be really beneficial. And maybe there is a way that you can communicate with your romantic partners and how you flirt and stuff that are influenced by your early upbringing, your early childhood experiences, and what you learned about how, when it comes to communicating in a certain way in your childhood, that's for you to let go of and to move on from those things in your life. And I say this because the South Node, which is a karmic lunar point in the sky, which is about emptying out, that's in your 5th house Libra. So this can also mean that for some of you guys, it's very much Venus retrograde is about make it or break it season, where relationships that aren't meant to last will fall apart. So this can be a time where you do let go of relationships that don't serve you so that you can heal. And that also ties together with the South Node emptying out in Libra in your 5th house of romance, and also Venus ruling your 12th house of endings as well. So, and this can also be honestly letting go of the way that you communicate with partnerships that don't necessarily serve you and letting that go, or like I said, specifically to your work. Or this can be a time where you're supposed to grow into yourself, and if you've been hesitating in communicating in a way that really supports you, this is the time to shift that. And you can get the support of friends in doing this. You can also leverage, it really depends on how you use the energy, but I think some of the best ways is because you do have the North Node, which is the opposite of the South Node in your 11th house of friends, and this is the time where this could also mean that like you start to practice being more assertive in the way that you communicate with your friends, or the way that your friends communicate with you, or the online community. There can be a little bit more of like an assertiveness. Another thing is that maybe you're prioritizing increasing your financial gains, and as a result of doing that, you let go of your work. Specifically, if you're a freelancer, you let go of certain business partnerships, collaborations, client interactions, so that you can accelerate your wealth. And as a result, you can actually let go of the current finances that you have so that you can bring in something new and something better. And this can be something that you potentially create in your home environment, because Mars, the ruler of Aries, which is about your financial gains as well as your followers. So let's say you want to do something where there is like an online community where you are working and collaborating and with doing something on social media. Mars is now the ruler of Aries, is in your 4th house of home with Virgo. Mars is about taking action. It's about starting something new and different. It's also a leader, so it is related to work. Virgo is one of the signs that represent work, and it's in your 4th house of home. So this can show that you take action at home to maybe find a new way of work. And this is really interesting because Mercury rules you, and Mercury is also in Virgo alongside with this. So with Mercury being about the internet, it's about your vocation. This can be that you start something new vocationally at home, something that you sort of grow into. So this can be professional in that sense. This could also be that in a romantic partnership, if you're living with a partner, maybe you take action and maybe your home environment changes. Mars is about separating. It's about taking action. Maybe it's about finding a home somewhere else. It doesn't have to be, but it can be one of those possibilities. Things of that nature, because Venus is ruling your 12th house of endings, and it is the second from your home environment. So this can show that maybe as a result of your work environment changing, maybe your home environment changes. This is of course just a generalization, but there are different things that you could take a look at as a Gemini rising to see how this Venus retrograde is going to be playing out. Is this related to your romantic partnerships? Is something going to change in that area? Or could you be changing your work environment, which is more likely the case for a lot of you guys? And so you can take a look at what that looks like. And as you're looking at this, one of the things is you can look at the planets, where things are being activated to sort of give you an indicator of like, when you have different options, what's most likely or what's going to be the one that's most beneficial for you. So looking at what is the fastest way for you to achieve material wealth, what option is available to you, what action can I take at home right now. So if you're sort of torn between different options, because Geminis tend to be pulled in different direction, like this is an indicator that if there is something that is aligned for you, looking at the one where you have the fastest way to achieve and accelerate your success, something to do with your home environment. These are things that you can take a look at in reference to. Now, some other ways that this can show up is that the third house is also about your siblings. So if there are things to heal and work through related to your hits with your siblings, maybe there is some connection with past lives regression, or I'm sorry, your past lives that's related to this as well. And this is because Venus is retrograding in your third house of siblings and rules your 12th house of healing, ending, and past lives. So this can be something that you may work through. You can maybe clear up any conflict that comes up because Mercury and Mars is in your 4th house of family right now. So this is something to consider. And I would say really be mindful of what you are reflecting on right now, because right now is all about Venus retrograde. But next month, we're going to have Mercury retrograding in Virgo, and it's going to be in rulership. It's going to be in your 4th house of home. So this is a time where you can be reflecting on, okay, right now while you take advantage of reflecting on your finances, your self-esteem, your 5th house of romance, start like your own business, things of that nature. You can focus on that right now. And then when Mercury goes into retrograde next month, this is a time where you can reflect on, okay, is there something that I can do related to work that's actually going to support me? Can I start something new? And as a general rule, it does depend on every chart. But as a general rule, Mercury retrograde isn't really the time to start something new. But that's actually because it's not so much that you shouldn't start something new as much as this is a beautiful time and opportunity to reflect on what's working, what's not working, which I think is more important now than ever, because we live in a world where it's very much about immediacy. And I'm going to create a separate video on this, and I actually want to create a course on this as well. And I've hosted live workshops pre-COVID where I talked about these things when it comes to Mercury retrograde, where it's actually the fastest way for you to accelerate your success. It's not what people make it out to be, but you have to use the energy responsibly and correctly. Mercury retrograde happens about once a season, about 3 or 4 times a year. And so this is the best time to reflect. And this is literally what successful entrepreneurs and businesses do. So it's not so much that you can't start new things during Mercury retrograde, but it's really the time where when you are starting something new, that it's in a way where you're not giving yourself an opportunity to reflect, so you're not able to grow. That's when disruptions tend to happen. But if you are reflecting, if you are taking advantage of the retrograde, then starting new things really oftentimes doesn't really become an issue. So I do want to make a special mention of that, but I wouldn't necessarily say that if you're starting something new and you have like a business idea that you started in Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde may not be the time to kickstart it right away, but it can be a time where you can sort of refine a little bit. So like right now can be the time that you focus on what are your values, what's important to you. Because oftentimes when people have a vision of what they want to do, there's just like this unconscious habit of sort of censoring yourself into what you think is possible, what you think you can do versus what you actually want to do, and operating from that space where you see possibilities. So start there right now during Venus retrograde about thinking about what are your values, what's important to you, what matters in these areas of your life. And then when Mercury in Virgo kicks in, then you can think about, okay, how do I implement this? How do I systemize it? How do I apply this in a practical way once you have the baseline of what matters to you, what's important for you? But start with yourself rather than externalizing the situation and then in the process unintentionally limiting yourself. So that's something that I really do encourage you to really take advantage of during this Venus retrograde. I hope that you found this video helpful. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.